Alright guys, welcome back. If y'all don't mind, hit the bell and like and subscribe. It really helps out. Still trying to get up to 1,000. Try to make a little bit of money off of the whole YouTube thing. None of this is free. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy passing on information, but if I can get a little something to help cover the expenses, that'd be awesome. Ammo isn't cheap. So today we're finally taking a look at my WASR-10-63. Now, y'all have seen this in a couple of videos and clips so far, with the magazine reviews and stuff like that. I haven't done a review on it yet until now because I wanted to get a little bit more time with the gun. Anyway, so, like I said, I wanted to get a little bit more time in with the gun, see how it really shot. This was one of my pawn shop finds. I overpaid a little bit for it, considering I paid about just a little over $1,200 for this rifle. But there is a specific reason why I did that. I know everyone's going to say I'm crazy for spending $1,200 on a WASR. But there is a reason, and I'll explain that in a little while. So first of all, I'm going to post up a couple pictures right now showing you what this rifle looked like when I got it. It was kind of hanky looking. It had a nasty, I think it was a Tapco or Magpulse pistol grip on it. It had, some wood furniture on it, which was probably original to the parts kit that this was built on. They didn't have a cleaning rod, and, pretty much it on that. Oh, and it didn't have a rear sight on it, and it had a nasty sight block rail, or a gas block rail with a tiny mini red dot on it that was insane. But, I didn't pay for it because it was just an AK for that, but because of some special features, specific features on this specific AK that to me as a collector made it kind of interesting to me. So first of all, as you can see, since, those pictures, I went ahead and kind of added some nice actual furniture to this thing to make it look actually more original. I added a cleaning rod to it. I went through and I battle pickup worn all the finish on the rifle, make it look a little better. I added a reverse dong, matching set, and I was able to change out the gas tube so the gas tube's still number matching to the rest of the gun. Everything's number matching on the gun except for the parts that were swapped out for import and the this lower dong right here. But every other part that is serialized is all numbers matching. So here's why I picked up this specific WASR compared to like a lot of AKs, and to be honest, I passed on a lot of AKs in my time because a lot of the AKs that come across in pawn shops or stuff like that, they're new production US made AKs. Well, this generation of WASR-10 should have been imported in the early 2000s, around 2005 or something like that, like right after the assault weapons ban. So at that time, these were still being produced in Romania at the Kyrgyz factory. the same factory that this original parts kit AK would have came out of. Now, the only real difference construction-wise between these and the originals is, well, there's not a mag weld dimple here, but it does have a couple pinch welds and a reinforcing plate on each side. Some people, they want that dimple to be more authentic, but the way I look at it is this receiver was actually built in Romania, as opposed to a lot of the receivers you get now are made here in the US to kind of bump up that parts count. So that was one of the things I looked at when I saw this. And then the other thing I looked at was, see if I can get this on camera here. It has a 1970 trunnion that's got a maker's mark on it, dated, and full serial number. And like I said, this parts kit, everything but the barrel, everything else should be original to that trunnion, to the original rifle that this came off of. So the way I look at it, as far as imported modern-esque AKs go, short of building a parts kit and re-welding a receiver, this is as close to a true foreign-made AK as you can get that is dated 1970. This receiver was made in the same factory that trunnion was made in, just, a couple decades later. So that was kind of cool. And then, like I said, that's one of the main things that I looked at when I looked at this rifle was that trunnion and all the numbers matching. Next, look at the bore. The bore is pretty good on this rifle. When Courier makes these rifles, they do a new barrel in them as well, also made in Romania. Now, of course, Century Arms, some of their WASRs now are made domestically in the U.S., and they still have a line, I believe, that comes from Romania. But there are some that are U.S. made. But the 63, and it's even marked on the receiver here. Let me get this opened up. It's even marked on the receiver, WASR-10-63 UF for the underfolder. So that's interesting to me as far as a collector goes, that I was able to come across this that was like this. Now, what was I going to say? Now, another thing I liked about it is the actual quality of the markings on this from this era, because some of the new ones and some of the older ones, this marking, where they mark all the information, looks like it was done with a hammer and chisel by Ray Charles's feet or something like that. I mean, some of them are real bad. But anyway, so, when I got this rifle, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is going to be a birthday present to myself. I want to go through and I want to make this rifle how I want it, something that looks presentable as a collector. And, you know what? I think I did pretty good on it. It looks like it's been worn. Functionally, everything's good on it. This rifle shoots awesome. I've had 1 or 2 malfunctions with it so far. And I think those were both when I was testing the drum mag and I was down to spring pressure on the drum mag. As far as I can tell, no malfunctions from the rifle itself. This thing is eating everything I've thrown in it, and it's done fantastic. It's just, it's a nice looking rifle. Now, when I was pleasantly surprised when I got the Romanian reverse dong in, it actually has some decent looking trench art on it. It has a star carved in here, some notches, some stuff here. On this side, it says Valley. It's got some ink circle on here. I don't know exactly what any of that means, but, I was pleasantly surprised when I got something in that matched. Or that was a good, complete, solid set, and it had some interesting trench art on it. It kind of goes back and adds to the battlefield type pickup aesthetic I wanted with this rifle. And of course, I went with an original Romanian pistol grip. This rifle does have a Tapco trigger group in it. So the trigger, hammer, both are U.S. made. The gas piston is also Tapco, U.S. made. It's a really, it's a really nice rifle so far. I've loved it. The thing shoots awesome. If you can look for one, if you're wanting to find a Warsaw, look for one of these older ones that have the trunnions. Now, some of these trunnion marks, some of them are laser etched. I believe the ones with the trunnions that are marked in the 80s, they changed the marking style. I'm not sure what year it is. I've seen some of the 80 ones where it's like laser etched. All the older ones in the 80s and back, I've seen have all been stamped. So that's kind of what I was looking for, is a stamped trunnion that's dated. So that means sight block, gas block, the gas tube, the sight block, the trunnion, rear trunnion, folder, trigger guard, all the little, other little stuff like that. Everything is original 1970, except for, obviously the pins and stuff like that, and the stuff that, swapped out for US import. So, I mean, if this is as close as you're gonna get to a original 1970 AK. Now, one of the reasons that I'm bringing that up is because some people will get one of these and look at that trunnion and think, oh wow, I got a pre-ban AK. And that's kind of what I first thought at first when I first looked at it. I actually drove away and left it at the pawn shop. Now I was doing a little bit of research on it, and then I went back about an hour later and I took it home. Perk of being in Texas, go in, do your background check. Usually mine passes, and depending on how they do it, less than a couple minutes, and you take it home. So, as you see, this thing looks really, really nice, and like I said, I did overpay for it a little bit. These, you can see these, depending on the year and the quality, they're anywhere between $1,200 or about $700 to $1,000. Some of them go up there. The newer ones, of course, they're what Century Arms is selling them for. It is what it is, but I'm happy with it. It's been a great shooter so far. It's seemed to be pretty accurate, runs flawlessly, no problems at all. Only issue that I have with this rifle as a total is the underfolder. So the issue I have with underfolder stocks is, well, how low it sits. So, flip this around. You can see from the top of the dust cover to the stock down here, it's a pretty good step here. So I mean, that's the only thing I have an issue with as far as the underfolders goes. Is they sit low, you don't have too good of a cheek rest. I mean, if you really cheek down on the stock, you're looking directly at the back of the rear trunnion. But you have to kind of not even use a cheek rest on it in order to get a sight picture. And the wire side folders, they're not much better. Personally, I prefer the underfolder over the side folder. The issue is that another issue I don't like about the underfolder is you have to change your grip when you fold and unfold the stock. That's just how it is. You can't hold your hand here and have this stock go over your hand. It's just not possible. Same thing with the front. If you're holding on to the dong, well, you gotta change your grip. That's just a problem with being an underfolder. Not an issue. Personally, I think it probably would have been smarter if they would have designed this as an overfolder and it folded over and came up on top of the handrail up there. If you see, the sight block sits high enough. If this folds over and sits on top of that, it might actually clear the sight block and still be usable. So that's something I wish they would have designed instead of an underfolder. It would have compacted down the same thing. They really would have not had to change anything on it, but it would have allowed for you to be able to fold and unfold while having your hand still on the grip and on the trigger if you need to. Of course, they did the underfolders for, being able to pack it away easier and fit into smaller spaces. But if you were able to fold it up top, say you're getting out of your truck, you're going to fold it, and you got to use it right then and there, you can still use it right then and there. However, with the grip, the stock up in any way. I do got a handful of magazines for this one. This Tapco magazine is what actually came with the rifle out of the pawn shop, and I have not actually shot this yet. I am going to be doing a video where I'm going to be doing a side-by-side irons battle with this AK versus my VZ58. Now, if you remember back when I did my VZ58 video, people, it's kind of understood that the VZ58 is supposed to be a more accurate platform than the AK-47 or the AKM. And there's a couple different reasons for that. So I'm going to be doing a video. It's going to be about 33 yards, 230 yards. The same long range I've been doing a lot of the long range shooting videos lately. And I'm going to try with irons to see which one I can get more hits on than the other one. So if that's going to be side by side, I'm kind of wanting to do it side by side like that because, to be honest, both of these rifles are set up very, very similarly. So that's going to be interesting. Both of them are folders. Both have a foregrip on it. Both are very similar as far as the way that they're set up, but we'll just see how they do as far as accuracy goes. Anyways, if you get a chance to find one of these older, early 2000 imported WASR-10s, go for it. So far, this one's been great for me. I know the WASRs, they have kind of a shaky reputation. Some of them have been known to be kind of lemons. It's kind of, you know, the way it is. If you ever get one and it's a lemon like that, just send it back. And I've heard Century Arms is pretty decent as far as their customer service when it comes to fixing problems with rifles that have issues. So, wouldn't hurt to send it in and, you know, see what's up with it and either get another rifle or they fix whatever the problem is. But other than that, this one's been a great shooter for me. I haven't had any issues out of it. And if you get a chance to get one, get one. Y'all have a good one.